Hi, my name's Eric Bowyer and I'm the employability worker with DEBP, and I'm going to be presenting the session today regarding Head Start. This is session 3, so I'm going to share the presentation now, and it's about skills and employability. So today's focus, why skills are important. So what are skills? Skills are the ability to do something well. Talking about your skills. So I know that every single one of you watching me today have skills. If I ask you about it, you might not be able to say what some of them are. So that's the whole point of today's session, give you that confidence and make you aware of the skills that you already have and skills hopefully that you will learn in the future as well. Connecting skills to career, so the importance of using your skills that you have and transferring that into the career, the path that you want to take. Let's recap. So I believe you'll have done session 1, how you can make the most of every opportunity to help you reach your goals. So tick that. I believe you've done session 2, how to work from home and developing your skills through Forgotten Space Challenge. Tick that. And then this, like I said, identifying skills, attributes you already have and those that might need to develop. So we're going to delve deeper into it. So last week you said these were skills that you used. Now, these that I'm bringing up now are called what we call buzzwords. Buzzwords are massively important with regards to filling in application forms, CVs, in interviews. Buzzwords are basically the words that describe your skills and the things that will get you points, if you like, within interview. All interviews are generally done on a point system. So if there are 2 people being interviewed, if there are 15 people being interviewed for 2 positions, basically the 2 with the highest points will get the positions. Okay. So when we talk about these things, these buzzwords, communication. Now I know you've all got communication skills. So I'm talking active listening, well-spoken, positive body language. So basically in any interview, application, CV, this is the sort of thing you're going to talk about and just elaborate on that. So think of examples where you've done this. Okay. So you always say, I've got good communication skills, an example being. Okay. Teamwork, massive one. Whatever it is that you choose to do, aspire to do in life, more than likely you're going to have to do teamwork at some point. So again, the importance of that. So think about where you've worked as a team, whether it be a project within school, in an activity or a club out of school. I know you've all done PE at some point, so you've done sports. So again, you've all done teamwork. Just think of a really good example that you could use. Reliable, because obviously if you're going to be applying somewhere, whether it be, college, sixth form, apprenticeship, work, you need to show that you're going to be reliable. It's a massive thing that employers are going to be looking for, so that you're relied upon. Empathizing, so basically show that you're understanding. Organization, now again, I know you've all got organizational skills, but it's just bringing that out, making you aware. So for example, if you're attending lessons, you've got a planner, you go to lessons on time, you wear a uniform, all these things are organizational skills. But I recommend that you think about, somewhere where you've organized something that you could use as a good example. So, and one example could be if you've done a session plan within PE for your BTEC, anything like that, where you've run a sports session, or just anything in general where you've organized, could be helping a member of staff with notice boards, anything where you've organized something, okay, and use this. Timekeeping, very important. So if you're doing an assignment, I'm pretty sure you're going to have a deadline to get that assignment in, that sort of stuff. So that's another example, timekeeping. Resilience. So basically, if you fall at the first hurdle, it's about getting up and trying again. Yeah, don't be scared to fail at things. We're all human. We all make mistakes. So it's being resilient and just carrying on. Adaptability, also flexibility. So showing that you're happy to go above and beyond. We all do things within our roles that you might not be necessarily within the contract, but that's all shown, demonstrating adaptability and flexibility, very important. So again, think of an example where you've been flexible. It could be that you've done something for the school that you didn't particularly need to do. So that's just shown. Another example, flexibility. Problem solving, particularly if you're going to go for a practical role. So if you want to be an engineer, I don't know, a plumber, whatever it may be, more than likely at the interview you will have to do a problem solving activity. They're not all practical problem solving things, but again, think of some scenarios where you've done some problem solving. It's a good one to use. Logical. So basically, logical is going about doing things the right way. So a lot of companies might look for, regardless what it is, might look for, the best way of doing things, the cheapest way of doing things. It's all about logical thinking. Yeah, how can we get that done the best possible way? Creativity, creative minded. positive mindset. It's all about positivity. So in any application CV interview that you do, there is no negatives. They're not there to listen to your negatives. So yeah, if you're going to say, yeah, I get sent out of science a lot for messing about, that is not what they want to know. They want to know the positive about you. If you're not sure what these are, again, as we go along, hopefully this will open your eyes a bit and you'll think, yes, I do have actually all these skills. It's just making you aware. So why are skills important? Well, think about the ones that you're using right now. You're listening to me or pretending to listen. You're observing, understanding, and that's just watching a session online. These are all different skills that you're using. Without skills, it'd be impossible to get anything done at home, at school, at work, or in life. Your future is decided by the skills you have or want to learn. So again, it's about learning what skills you already have and having to think about a career that you can put these skills into. It doesn't mean you can't build more skills. You'll always build more skills. But there's no point, for example, no point me trying to be a car mechanic when I have no practical skills using tools. So it's about using, what you're good at to your advantage. Skills make you employable at the end of the day. Like I've said, if you're going against lots of people, which you will be, unfortunately, you might not want to hear it, but every single one of you will attend an interview at some point in your life, and some of you might attend quite a few. So again, it's all about learning these buzzwords and thinking of the examples so that when you're going up against other people, you should hopefully come out. Why are skills important? Well, your skills help you to see what you're good at, recognize what you need to improve, and decide on a career that suits you, achieve future goals. So exactly going back to the whatever it is you aspire to do. If you don't know what it is yet that you want to do as a job, then that's absolutely fine. It is easier if you can get on it quicker, because then you know what you're aiming towards, what GCSEs you need, what qualifications you need. So it's really worth thinking about what it is that you could be doing. There's nothing worse than being in a job role that you really dislike. I've been there myself. I'll not go into it, but 37 hours a week, 40 hours a week is a long time to be away from home and doing something. So it's important to find something that you think you'll enjoy. I personally didn't get it right the first time. For me personally, I was ready to leave school. I went into college. I took up art and design at college because I like to draw. I discovered after a year of that, I enjoyed it, but I just couldn't see where I was going with it career-wise. And then I basically went into sport and recreation, and that's where my career path started. So I did 2 years of that and became a gym instructor and lifeguard in a private health club, which I obviously don't do now. But basically, again, through all these basically skills that I've developed as time's gone by, for the past, goodness knows how many years now, I've been working with young people, because that's what I've really aspired to do in the end. So here I am. But yeah, so it just shows I wouldn't recommend doing it that way. Like I said, if you can basically get a rough understanding of what you want to do early on, it does work to your advantage, rather than do it the long way like I did. Let's talk about your skills. So talking about your skills, it can be difficult. We all understand that. It is understandable, because it is vital that you can talk about the skills So, I mean, the amount of time I do lots of mock interviews with young people, and one question they hate is, tell me about yourself, or what are your strengths? But the reason we ask it is because we genuinely want to know. And it's really difficult to sort of talk about yourself positively without sounding arrogant sometimes, but it's also very important. It's once you learn, once you master it, you'll be at a massive advantage. So, it's not bragging about yourself. It's literally generally informing these people of the skills that you have, and giving them examples of when you've done it. Effectively, talking about skills we have is a skill in itself, because like I said, it can be difficult. It's sometimes easier as human beings to talk about negatives than our positives, but I think it's important to just flip that round, and equally for mental health. So let's talk positively. Being positive about ourselves is key. Like I said, good for self-esteem, good for mental health, and good for going for job roles. Talking about your skills, a few examples, right? This is a really good example here. So when I work as a group in science lessons, I'm a good team player. I make sure I listen to my group members when discussing the experiment and follow instructions and guidelines to complete the task properly. So within that paragraph, there's umpteen good skills that have been mentioned in there, buzzwords if you like. So when I work as a group, basically I'm a good team player. I've just said that. So that's an example of being a team player, a really good one. Okay, I make sure I listen to my group members so they're using good communication skills as an active listener when discussing, so they're speaking clearly. They experiment, they're doing some practical element. They follow the instructions with regards to whatever you do in life. You'll be expected to follow instructions. That's a really important one, and guidelines to complete the task. So they've been resilient and they've completed it overall. So, like I say, it doesn't have to be an essay when you're describing your skills. If you're talking about team as a team member, it just has to be a bit of an example like that, and that's to me is a perfect answer. Another one is, I often babysit for my younger brother on the weekends. This shows I am reliable and trusted to ensure he's safe and happy. Now, this is really good, and I can't stress enough, if some of you find that you do babysitting for family or for money, whatever it may be, or dog walking, all these things, these are all very relevant and very, very important with regards to, again, applications, CVs, and interviews. Right, with a babysitting, that's really good, but I would even stretch that a bit further, because I'm pretty sure that they'll be ensuring that the house is of a cleanliness standard. For example, getting toys out, then putting them away. More than likely, they'll prepare meals for the children and then tidy up after. There's all these different skills that they could be included in that paragraph, so it's worth thinking about. So like I said, if any of you guys do this sort of thing, babysitting, stuff like that, then please mention it, because it's a massive, massive. Right, identify your skills activity. So important you can outline your own skills. This is basically an activity that you will get some resources with this presentation. So important you can outline your own skills with examples. Example evidence you can use the skills you've highlighted. College, university, apprenticeships and jobs all require you to discuss what skills you have with examples. So basically we've already said about that. Whatever interview you go to, this is what it's all about. It's all about talking about yourself positively. So like I said, I'm going to provide you with these resources. So there's a little challenge for you. It's not too difficult. Highlight skills that apply to you. Right here is a whole list of skills. Can you find 3 of them, tick them or highlight them, and then write 3 examples of when you've used them, basically, which is good. Nice little activity. But I would particularly, I think that you should look at other ones as well. I would personally highlight as many of them as possible and sort of learn it like a bit like you're preparing for a test. So if you are a team player, think of an example. If you're confident, brilliant, think of an example. We've been confident. If you're a good listener, great. If you're energetic, excellent. Take as many as them or highlight as many of them that you think apply to you and just try and memorize it with examples, because they are all buzzwords that employers, colleges, universities, apprenticeships are all looking for. So yeah, it's a good one to keep that. And like I say, when I go to an interview, well, I've not been for a few years now because I'm quite happy where I am, but when I go to an interview, I genuinely write a list of strengths on A4 paper and memorize them. So I'm organized, flexible, good communication skills, good with IT, all these sort of things, and think of examples. Because then when I'm in the interview and nervous, it still kind of reels off the tongue still because I've memorized it like a test. Okay, just a little tip. Skills in the workplace. People are given jobs dependent on what skills they have and can speak about in their interview. So again, if you're going for a job role, whatever it may be, you're there to, not only are they interviewing you, but you're kind of there to interview them as well to make sure it is what you want to do. And obviously, whatever role you're going to, you have to ensure that you are using skills that are relevant for that role. Goes without saying. Knowing which skills are needed to work in a job role is important for fulfilling that role to a good standard. So I'll be honest with you, I've been to a couple of interviews a few years ago when I was younger and not entirely sure what the job role involved. And yeah, it's not the best preparation that, it's not the best way to go to an interview. Right, National Career Service. So this is just a bit of an example. So this is a bit of an advert or part of an advert for an architect. When you get an advert, when you see an advert and you want to apply for it, and there's a closing date, I strongly recommend, a little tip is I would copy and paste this part that you see and save it on a desktop, save it on a USB stick, wherever it's safe. Simply because when the closing date comes, that will disappear off the internet. This little tip here, this little hint, skills and knowledge. So this skills and knowledge is basically kind of giving you some answers with regards to what they expect from an architect. So when going to an interview to become an architect, these are all things that you would mention in the interview. So yes, design skills, I have design skills and knowledge, and give an example of that. I have knowledge of building and construction, and how do you have knowledge? Let them know. I'm thorough and I pay attention to detail. An example being, thinking, reasoning skills, customer service skills. Now, it's difficult if you haven't done anything with customers. It's quite hard to answer that, but you can be honest with that. And basically, the customer service skill will come. But equally, I'll get around that by saying, think about some social. So sometimes where you've used your sociable skills, if you like, because that's another way of answering it. Excellent verbal communication skills, which obviously you're going to be talking to customers. Analytical thinking skills, initiative. Massive one for you. I don't mean to stereotype, but you guys are a lot younger than myself. Computer and main software packages. I'm pretty confident that you use laptops, computers, iPhones, other sorts of phones within school, out of school. You email on your phone, you text, all this malarkey. So you've been brought into this world where IT is essential, whereas when I was your age, it wasn't. It was more handwriting. So I've got no doubt that you'll be a lot more confident on computers probably than what I am. So elaborate on that and think about when you've done it, what you've done on it, what programs you've used. So you've used Word, you've used Excel, you've used PowerPoint, all these things. Give examples as to when you've done it. Work experience and your skills. So work experience is vital for helping you understand, bear with me while I move myself because I can't see it, whether you'll enjoy a career path. So we at DEBP, we're really big on, if you get the opportunity to do work experience, we would say do that, because it gives you that experience that you won't get anywhere else, okay? You can do so much within the school, but when it comes to being out in the working world, you don't know what it's like until you actually get out there and do it. So going back to myself, boring you with that, when I was in year 10, I went to a car garage because I said about being a car mechanic. I wanted to be a car mechanic when I was younger, but I did 2 weeks of it. I actually really loved it. The mechanic I was with kind of put me off though, saying no, I wouldn't do it, giving me all these different reasons. And then I realised also I'm not all that handy, again, like I said, practically with the tools. So yeah, in the end I realised it wasn't for me, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I went there and I really enjoyed it. And I realised in doing that, it wasn't for me. So it's important. So if you can do work experience, if you have the opportunity, grasp it. You get to see what skills are needed while developing your own, as well as seeing what the job is really like. See what the environment's like, what the people are like. You may have missed work experience with school this year due to COVID, but it's not the end. There's more opportunities to do so. So there's virtual work experience. A lot of things are being done virtually now at the moment, interviews, all sorts. So that could be an option. It could be worth looking into. Volunteering. Now, this is a massive one. Volunteering can sometimes stand in better stead than work, weirdly enough. Okay, so again, going back to me, even now, when I did sport and recreation at college, I had to do 2 weeks work experience. I went to a junior school local to me, and I loved it that much that I ended up spending a year working at any sort of days off that I had, in the week. And I was there supporting the school, getting this experience. I paint murals with the children. I do maths games. I do reading books with them, stuff like that, group reading. And even now, that's on my CD, because at the end of the day, I spent a year of my life volunteering where I didn't get paid. So volunteering is a massive, massive one. So if you get any opportunity, or you've had the opportunity, make sure you list that, because volunteering is a massive one. But equally, if you do part-time work, wherever you may work, then obviously that gets logged down as well. Always give 3 things that you do there. So if you were at McDonald's, for example, write 3 things that you do within that role as bullet points, okay, on your applications. Placement while at college, like I said, I did work experience at college, so it's more than likely when at college, if that's what you choose to do, you will do. Skills in the workplace. How can you find out what skills are important for a job role? So another activity time. Again, you will have the resources. So your task, choose a job that you find interesting. So if you've got an idea of what you want to aspire to for a job, then brilliant, you're already off to a good start. If you're really not sure, then have a think of something that you might enjoy, because then you're going to look into it a bit. Yeah, I could have done stuff with it like this when I was younger. I had nothing like this, but it's a really good way to help you out. Find out skills and qualities needed, qualifications needed, local employers, responsibilities. Create a poster or a Word document or a mind map. Right, so basically I'm going to show you what it looks like now. These are the examples that you're going to get. So research tasks, you can edit these on the computer as well, rather than writing them all out. So job title, think of a job role, like I just said. You can always add an image and get an image from anywhere, Google Maps, about what the job is. Have a look into what qualifications are needed, for example, GCSEs. So for example, if you need high levels in maths, English, science, that sort of thing, then that's what you need to know. Skills and qualities needed. It's easy to find on the internet. If you find an advert for this particular job and it'll tell you about the skills and qualities, then put that. Responsibilities, what would someone with this job do at work? So basically looking into it, just see what every day at that workplace is going to be like. Again, giving you that more experience of, you know, where it's going to be. And then from wherever you live, local employers. So whether you live in Derby City or if you live in Derbyshire, have a little look at local employers that you know, work with this in this arena that you're looking at. And if you can find any more, then brilliant. So that's one option of doing that. The other option is, like I said, the mind map there. So like I said, you will get copies of these, and so they're as guides to help you with this task. Like I said, handy. And any other ideas you have, be creative. So like I said, if you're more of an artistic person, like I would probably choose poster way. That's just me. But that is an option. Okay. Feel free to send me some of the work if you want in my work email address, which you'll see at the end. Right, how to find out what skills are needed for a job. Right, so there's lots of websites, again, with your IT skills, prospects, national careers. They basically help you with what sort of skills that you will be requiring certain things. But like I said, there's many of us that are here to support you. So if you're struggling, the websites, they're just not helping you, then get in contact with us. I'll give you all the contact details at the end, like I've said. Looking at job adverts is helpful too. So get my first job, gov.uk. Gov.uk is government one. There's lots of jobs on that. I'd say also look at local councils. So again, if you live in, I don't know, if you're sort of, for example, I'm Chesterfield, I look at Derbyshire County Council. And if I was to look at Derby County Council, I can guarantee there'll be at least 200 odd jobs on that website. So it's that easy to look for jobs. Okay, again, if you live closer to Derby, then Derby City Council, whichever council is the one that you're within, then like I said, that's another one. My favourite of all of this is Indeed. I've got an iPhone. It's a free app, and Indeed, you can put your CV on there. There's lots of jobs on Indeed. I always make young people aware of that because it's just so easy to get. And there's others, Monster, Reed. There's lots of you know, websites you can look at regarding looking for jobs. Connecting skills to careers. Can you see yourself doing the job you've researched? So you've hopefully looked into something that interests you. Can you see yourself doing that? Share what you found on the Padlet. It's anonymous. If you don't know what a Padlet is, we'll go into it in a minute. If not, think of what skills you have again. You might get an idea from someone else's post on the Padlet. So the Padlet is a web app that lets users basically post things on a digital wall. So I'm sure at some point in your life you use that, so post-it notes, and you pin them to something. Well, it's very similar, but it's just this way it's done on the computer, and basically you're putting these notes on a digital wall, and you can create videos and images, all sorts of things like that. So really easy to find and really easy to sign up to. So just type in Padlet, to be honest. That's what I did when I looked into it. Like I said, easy to sign up to, and yeah, gain other people's input as well. So to summarize, hopefully you know why skills are important. You know how to talk about your skills. You research skills in the workplace. You connect skills to careers. So remember that sheet where you had to pick 3 things and examples. Go back to that, and like I said, memorize all them different skills that you have. And it's good for your self-esteem as well, like I've said. So as well. So you can contact us. Remember, we're here to support you. But we can only do it if you tell us what you need support with. So whether it be CV writing, searching college courses, don't know how to apply, apprenticeships, working from home, how to look after your mental health. I'm a big advocate for mental health and the importance of it. But yeah, there's a few of us there. So there's Sophie, there's me, Eric, there's Lana. We're employability workers, and then there's Stuart Rooker, who's the career advisor. Like I said, that's my email there. If you ever have any questions, queries, anything like that, please don't hesitate to get in touch. I'm always here. On that, thank you for listening. I hope you found it helpful. Hopefully talk to you again soon. So yeah, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Bye.